What is up, guys? Welcome to yet another episode of the Creative Smoothie. Today I brought something pretty cool for you guys because I've been thinking about this for a while. I've never done a Q&A session where you guys can submit some questions and where I tackle some of the most frequently asked questions about digital marketing, social media, copywriting, marketing strategy in general. I think that there are a lot of questions that I try to answer and that I strive to answer in this podcast, but I do realize that sometimes people have their own questions, their own shorter or longer questions that need to be addressed, and that although I do my best to answer them, sometimes they escape my attention. So I think that it was a good idea to do this, just to go over some typical digital marketing questions that I've received, that I've compiled, that I've read on my comments a lot. So these are not only questions that you guys submitted, these are also questions that I see daily on my feed. I see things that people ask me in my comments. So I think that this is going to be very helpful for business owners, entrepreneurs, freelancers, and people that are at the beginning, or people who just want to start leveraging the power of marketing, the power of conscious marketing. So if this is you, if this sounds like you, then stick around. And even for those people that kind of already know about marketing, even I love to go over these questions sometimes and ask myself these questions just so I can stay fresh, just so I can stay up to date, just so that I know exactly what I'm doing and how I'm helping. So without further ado, let's jump into some of these questions that I've prepared for you today. I didn't really want to make up a number as of the time of recording of how many questions I'm going to answer, but I'm going to go over a few of them and see if we can cover some good ground today, okay? So let's go. The very first question, and this is a question that I get all the time, is a question that should never be your first question in advertising or in marketing, okay? And the question is social media marketing beneficial to me or my company? Not me as in the person that's asking. So this question, every time I like to answer it by going backwards, okay? In order for you to understand what channels and what tactics and what executions you should be implementing in your business, you should first have your marketing strategy down to the point. You have to have your strategy down. You have to have your business offer down, because if not, you're not going to know certain things that are going to allow you to understand whether or not social media is beneficial or not for you. Okay? So the short answer to is social media marketing beneficial to my business or to my company is, are the people that you're trying to sell to hanging out on social media? Like, do you see other people selling similar products on social media? And if you do, and if the people that you're trying to sell to are on social media, then yeah, probably it could be a very good tool for you to spread your message. But if you don't understand the basic principles of marketing strategy, which is who are you helping, what are you helping them with, and how are you helping them achieve whatever they want to achieve, right? So you need to understand what problem you solve, who you're solving it for, and also how you're going to solve it. And the how also has to do with social media marketing. But if you don't know the who and the what, then you'll never really know if the people are on social media. You're going to try and create a demand on social media. You're going to try and create problems and desires for people who do not have them. And that's the number one recipe for failure, like I always say. So I think that the answer to is social media beneficial to you or not is it depends. What are you selling? Who are you selling it to? And are you disposed to do the things that are required for you to run a social media marketing campaign on social media, okay? So start with your marketing strategy, start with your business offer, and then once you have those down, the answer to these questions, you're going to give it to yourself. You're going to find out, oh, wait, it turns out that people between 30 and 40 who like self-improvement do hang out on Pinterest or social media or Instagram or Clubhouse or whatever it is. Okay? Great. I think this answered. And if any of these questions don't answer to the full extent that you're expecting, just drop a comment and I'll DM you, I'll talk to you. I'm more than happy to help you out. Okay, this is a very good one. How should businesses measure the success of their social media marketing efforts? So this question relates to the first one, okay? which is understanding your marketing strategy and your business strategy too. Why are you using social media? So in order to understand how to measure it, you need to understand why you're on social media, which goes back to the first point. So depending on why you're on your social media, you're either trying to get more sales, you're either trying to increase customer awareness, right? So get more people to know about your brand, or you're trying to develop after purchase relationships. So people that have already purchased from you have a place to form a community. So it depends whatever you're trying to do with social media, because measuring likes, comments, and engagement and followers can be beneficial to show you that there's growth, but that growth needs to translate into actual return on investment in your marketing. So what's that return on investment that you're looking for? What are the goals that you're looking to hit with social media? Because if you're looking for sales, then yeah, likes, comments, and followers are somewhat important, but how many people are you actually getting to close as a result of social media? That's the metric that you should be measuring. If you want to spread brand awareness, then okay, how many people are following you? How many people are talking about you, sharing your stuff, using your hashtags? So in order for I always work backwards. Whenever there's a question like how should I do this or how should I do that, it's why are you trying to be on social media? What are you trying to accomplish? And again, if you go back to your marketing strategy and you know what you're trying to accomplish, this question is going to be answered a lot easier. Okay, some of the things that I measure for my own account, which is I use my social media to build a community and to create potential sources of leads and clients. For me, followers from my niche is a very important metric that I use, and comments and interactions on my posts from niche accounts are very important, because that's what creates a sense of community for me. But for you, it can be something different. All right. So I think that this answered the question. If not, let me know. Okay, I'm gonna throw another social media marketing and I hope that we can maybe move away from social media marketing just for a sec. But on which social media channels should my company be engaged? Simple answer: on the ones that your clients and leads are. I'm not gonna beat the same horse again. Be wherever the people that you're trying to sell to are. And if they're not on social media, then don't waste your time on social media. It's pretty simple. What is the best marketing tactic on Facebook? Again, I don't want to go over your why, but let's assume that you understand why you're on Facebook. Let's assume that you understand what your business strategy and marketing strategy are. Marketing on Facebook has become very different, and it has also been targeting different people. But I can say that almost without a doubt, Facebook groups have become the most powerful marketing tactic on Facebook, not only because it literally builds a list of leads for you that you can then retarget with advertising, not something that I necessarily agree with all the time, but definitely useful. It creates community, which is imperative in Web 3.0 era, right? This new era that we're having, community building and finding your place and belonging is so important. So Facebook groups is a really good way of building up some authority. If you participate in Facebook groups, or if you have your own Facebook group, you can quickly gather people that share the same interests, share the same problems, share the same desires. And when you do that, what you have is you don't have to guess if those people are leads or not. Many of those people are going to be leads. And it kind of breaks through the clutter of followers and friends that are not from your niche. And it does a better job than following a page, because when you follow a Facebook page, all that you get is a one-way interaction from them to you, and maybe you can post a comment. But when you're in a group, you don't always get to talk with the people that created the group. Sometimes you talk to other people that are in the group, and so you can create authentic connections and relationships in Facebook groups that you probably cannot create in other features that they have. With that being said, and I'm gonna stop just for like 1 second right here, and I know that this video is very useful for you. I really do not like what Facebook, Instagram, and many other social medias are doing. Not only from the social dilemma, I've been disliking it for a while. I think that they drive people to certain extremist emotions, like really, really euphoric or really, really annoyed, scared, angry. And I've seen an interview with Zuckerberg the other day, and so I'm not trying to promote Facebook or what they're doing. I'm just trying to tell you that if you choose to be on Facebook and marketing on Facebook, then Facebook groups are probably going to work very well for you. Now, what I believe as a conscious marketer is that Facebook is not a good way of promoting yourself, because in doing so, you're also helping the mass stealing of identity, privacy, data, and autonomy. So, hey, if you want, you can call me conspiranoical, but I don't mess with this kind of stuff. I don't like it, and I'm trying to find better ways and more efficient ways and more sustainable ways every day of carrying out marketing campaigns without having to use Facebook advertising for that. It's hard. I'm not saying I completely stopped it. I'm not saying that I'm not doing anything, but what I'm moving towards is not depending on these platforms at all. Okay? And I'll be talking about that later on. But let's get back to the video. Let's read some of these other questions. I received like about 20, 25. So I just want to make sure that I'm answering some relevant ones that are also covering different topics. What actually is content marketing? Okay, so I think that content marketing was one of those buzzwords from 2020, 2021, and even now a bit, content marketing. It's basically, content marketing has been creating content, whether it is blog posts, social media content, news articles, editorials. It's creating content that's supposed to be positioning your brand, company, or business, and it's supposed to promote and sell said product. So instead of, it used to be blogging, but when other than blogging, we started seeing a lot of social media posts like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter starting to use social media as a way to market. That's when content marketing came around. But all content marketing is literally creating multimedia content or single media content that is going to aid in the education, awareness, purchase, or loyalty that a product wants to communicate to its clients or leads. Okay, so it's basically using content, so kind of like hacking feeds and hacking content that you already see and placing sales messaging and marketing messaging in it, so that although you're reading content thinking that it's just content, it kind of sells you on something else. Okay, that's the best content marketing, the one that gives you some sort of tool. We've seen this with a lot of Facebook carousels and a lot of reels that give you some sort of useful tool or a trick, a hack, something to combat a main problem that you're having. And then in return, somewhere in there, the solution to your problem is also their product and their whatever they're selling. And a lot of people have lost integrity over this and they're just trying to sell. But a lot of people are doing a really good job with content marketing, and they are creating and spreading a lot of free stuff that us entrepreneurs and many people can learn for free. And they give so much value that I decide, hey, if they gave me so much value through free content, I guess I wonder how much like value I can get from their paid stuff. And that's what makes me want to buy from them. And that's what I've done. That's most of my purchases have been lately done through content marketing. That doesn't mean that everybody has to do content marketing, okay? Like if you are signing high ticket $100,000 coaching clients every year, you don't need to be on the social media. You don't need to create all this content, okay? What you need to do is you need to continue hanging out with those people and creating the strong relationships that they have. So content marketing is more of an up and coming tool. And once you have the clients from that, it's more as a educational and awareness tool that many companies use. Okay, so I hope this was useful for you as well. How might content marketing help me become a thought leader in my field? So the problem with thought leaders is that there's so many that thought leaders have almost become like a buzzword too. Okay, what is a thought leader? Somebody that thinks, spreads their knowledge, and then other people adopt that kind of thinking and knowledge and start recreating it. The problem with that is many people think they're thought leaders when in fact there's nothing new under the sun, and everything that they have is a sort of scrambled information from all of the different gurus, sources, and experiences that they've had. I am Exhibit A. This is what we're doing today. Everything that I'm spilling out is not just information that I've reflected on and I have become wise about. It is information that I've learned, information that I've tested, information that other people have talked about, and now I am also repeating some of what they said sometimes, but adding my own perspective to it. And this is what a lot of people are doing to create thought leadership, which means thought leadership is nothing but authority, okay? And authority, if you know from marketing, is something very important that we use in order to justify and to increase the credibility of any product that we put out. If people trust in us, they trust in what we put out. If people don't trust in us, even if we create the best product in the world, they don't trust us. It's the same with thought. It's the same as who we pay attention to on social media. Thought leaders are the people that we follow and that we steer towards because of the way they think, because of the way they speak, because of the way they express themselves, and because of the ideas that they bring forward. Now, does content marketing help those people become thought leaders? Yes. But it's not so much the content marketing, it's so much the content placing as well. Because you can be posting on Instagram daily 3 times and not doing the correct things or not talking to the correct people, and absolutely nobody's ever going to hear you. Okay, nobody. So content marketing alone is not going to make you a thought leader. You need a combination of advertising. You need a combination of PR. You need to be able to get into press. You need to be able to do some network marketing so you can have the people, that those first 5-6 people that follow you and are your evangelists, like those people that follow you religiously. And then those people are going to tell other people about you, because it is rarely content that creates this effect. And I actually have a quote up there on my board that says, people don't buy because of your content, they buy because of the way you make them feel. And yes, content can help them, make them feel a certain way or another about themselves and about you, but it's more important about what's behind the content, what's behind the strategy, who are you. You being you and communicating that in the best way possible is the most important thing that you can do as a thought leader. That, and actually thinking and compiling information about your industry, okay? All right, let's throw a few more. This one is a very repeated one. How do I define my business offer so that people know to buy from me and not from somebody else? So let's for a second assume that you have a product that is probably very similar to other people in the market. A lot of people feel bad for that reason, me being the number one. And many times we try to find ways of separating ourselves by trying to either phrase our business offer in a different way, or trying to invent some sort of service to like target a completely new set of people with a problem that was never really solved before, thinking that that's what's going to make a better business strategy, or trying to tell them that our benefits are going to be better than somebody else's benefits. You can get really stuck in this cycle of trying to prove that your business is the best. You can break it. Okay, you can get stuck in it, but you can break it. And the way you break it is by defining your business offer, by starting to define your business offer with a simple formula. You don't have to get stuck in this formula. A lot of people have told me, hey Vlad, like if everybody followed this formula, everybody's business would sound the same. Yes, but this is a great place to start, okay? And it's this formula that I've talked about plenty of times on this podcast and in other content that I've created, which is I help X achieve Y using Z. Okay, so X is the person that you helping. Achieve Y. Y is the benefit that they're going to achieve or the problem that they're going to get over. And through or using Z is the method that you're going to help them with. Okay, so the X, the who you're going to help, you got to make sure that you specify them. It's not like, oh, I help people. Okay, what people? Men, both men, women, digital savvy, not digital savvy. What kind of income? What do they do? What is their job? What is their specific job within the role? And what, you have to kind of define a very specific person that you're going to help, because if not, your offer is going to be very generalized. Next step is, what are you going to help them achieve? This is where most people get business wrong. Okay, listen to me. This is where most people get business wrong. They think that they need to come up with a project in an incubator by themselves, sitting down at their desk, that's going to hopefully solve some problem in the world, and hopefully people have this problem. And if people don't have this problem, even worse, they go out and advertise messaging that creates that unconscious problem in the people. I am totally against that. What you need to do instead is to go out and search for a real problem that people have in the world and try to solve it, because this is what business is and this is what capitalism enables. And a lot of people are on my nerves talking about how bad capitalism is and business and making money, and they don't know shit that they're talking about because they're used to creating businesses for the sake of making money. If you create a business just for the sake of making money, you're going to do that. Try to find a nail that you can hit. If you're trying to create a business because you're trying to help people, then you're going to find a real problem out there, and then you're going to try and solve it. Okay? So that's how you resolve that second part of the equation, the why, the benefits, the problem. You identify a real problem in the world, and you go out and research and get interested in people. Okay? Don't assume anything. Whatever is not measured is an assumption. So measure stuff or you're assuming. And lastly is the how. How are you going to help them? You can differentiate yourself a bit here, okay? I differentiate myself from other marketers by telling people that my marketing strategies and whatever I'm going to help you with is never ever going to put your ethics, identity, and morals in danger. Your principles are intact. You're going to be able to sell your business without changing who you are into somebody that's promotional, salesy, and is a predator, okay? So that's what I use, but yours can be any different. So this is how you define your business strategy. Again, I help X achieve Y using Z. Or here's a bonus. I help X achieve Y without Z, where Z is a painful process that you're avoiding for your clients. So I help clients travel the world without having to spend more than $5,000. I don't know, whatever it is, okay? That's your business offer, okay? I hope this helped you out a lot. Let's see, I think we're going to wrap up on one or two more. Okay, this one's a good one. Is it necessary for me to create new content regularly? Well, regularly is what is regularly? Like, let's define what regularly means, because if you mean that you should have content creation systems that will help you post a certain amount of times per week or per period of time, and that you are going to be consistent with it, that is regular too, right? Regular is very broad, okay? So the better question would be, do I need to create and post content every day? And that's a yes and no question. You don't have to create content every day, but I would say that at the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey, if you're choosing social media, especially Instagram, as a means of communication, quantity right now definitely leads. Not over quality, but over somebody who posts 100 times for 100 days straight and doesn't have as good information as you do, who has posted every other day for 30 days. Instagram's always going to favorite the other person that might not have the best information and your best interest, but has posted every single day. And that is a lot about understanding how the algorithms today work, and the algorithms today are optimized for you to spend a lot of time on those platforms and for you to spend a lot of time posting and engaging in those platforms. And so if you're creating an experience that people are engaging with daily, it means that you are part of the reason why those people are using Instagram. And when Instagram sees that, the algorithm says, oh, we want more of that. This is the reason why people are on Instagram, right? So whenever they look at your account, they look at it as, are people going to be spending more time on Instagram because of this account or then this post, or less? And if it's more, then they push it more and more and more and more and more until they find out that that's enough people that saw your content. This is only one of the mechanisms of the algorithm. And I can tell you that if you do post every day, it's a lot better. And if you post the correct content, which right now is Reels, if you post Reels enough and you do them in a good quality, but not over perfectioning it, just making sure that every other day or every day you put out a Reel, you're going to win over other people. And there's people that are putting out 4 to 5 every day, not just one. So if you have the capabilities of creating a social media team that can come up with regular content that is informative, educational, and engaging, and if you can keep that for at least a year, the amount of growth is going to be insane. And I'm currently doing that. And in the past 2 months, I've done this, and I've never ever seen the kind of growth that I've seen in the past 2-3 months, which is posting more regularly, as this question says, which is for me is every single day other than Sundays. I give one day off on Sunday because I believe that the algorithm likes some time off, and that's what I do. So there it is. Like I would say start posting at the beginning more, but don't just focus on posting every day, because then you're going to start creating every day. Create your content in batches and then schedule it for the next week, or at least if you're gonna create some sort of content that's a bit easier to schedule ahead of time, and you don't have to, like, for example, reels are hard to schedule because you got to come up with a caption, you got to make sure that you're posting at a relevant time. But if you're posting something like a tweet or something else, you can probably schedule a lot of those in advance, like 2 weeks in advance, and so you're only left with a few days where you manually have to go in and post. So it's not so much as how often you post, it's for how long you maintain that commitment to post regularly, okay? It's not enough to post regularly for a month, 2, 3. You have to keep it going. All right. I'm going to choose one more question, and then that's it, because this is a longer than usual episode, and I don't want to keep you guys your entire day over here. Okay, so I received this question a lot, and all these questions that I told you today are daily, if not weekly, questions that I hear either from other people or from businesses in general. And my question, and the question that I receive many of times is, should we run marketing campaigns on many channels, or should we focus all of our marketing efforts into one channel, whether it be social media, whether it be out of home, whether it be TV, whether it would be, and this, I'm talking about bigger brands, but for most people it's, social media or word of mouth. And the question is basically, okay, should we diversify our channels, target more channels, or should we focus on one? And I'm going to tell you something that I've learned in advertising, and I've learned this from Duke Greenhill. He's the ex-creative director at, I'm going to forget the agency name because I don't remember agencies anymore. In any case, he was the creative director at an agency who had LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet, Hennessy, as their client. And what we learned from him is that any sort of campaign, marketing, advertising campaign that targets multi-channels, so that targets you on social media and on email marketing and maybe on TV and maybe on their website and maybe on banner ads and maybe like in other native content, those campaigns tend to perform 3 to 10 times better than campaigns that were only ran on one social media or only on one channel, okay, and did not target people in other channels that they interact with. Now, this is true, but this is very true for brands who have the capability of transferring the quality across all channels. Because if you're going to do a really good job on Instagram and then kind of a meh job on 3 other channels, the only thing that you're doing is splitting your energy without getting all the potential that you could be getting from all those channels, which actually is counterproductive. So I would actually say that at the beginning, it's a very good strategy to start with one channel, focus power on everything. And when it makes sense and you identify that a lot of people have a natural tendency towards a separate channel, like email marketing, that's when you open a separate channel. Because if not, you don't have the team that LVMH has. You don't have 100 people willing to split themselves into teams, and each one of the teams takes care of a separate channel. And if you do, then do that, okay? If you do have the people needed to run multi-channel campaigns, so at least 3 different channels, then I will do so. But if you're somebody who's just starting out, splitting, and I do this, okay? I'm preaching something that I do. I have a podcast, I have a YouTube channel, I have an Instagram, and I'm on Clubhouse. And the reason why I do that is because I kind of talk about different things across all channels, except for YouTube and my podcast, which are essentially the same. But the central content that I post, it's always the same. So the way I get around not having to only be on one channel is that the content that I create is created in such a way that it can then be spread across different channels in an easier way and doesn't have to be edited as much. And I'm alone. I do this by myself. Okay? But I'm telling you that if you're at the very beginning, and I'm talking the first few months, I've been doing this for a bit, but if you're doing this for the first few months, just choose one, right? And choose the one that most of your leads are going to be on. And choose one that you're going to master first. And then move on to the next one. You know? Because if not, you're just going to spread yourself thin. And I had to learn this the hard way. Like, if you think I'm spread thin now, last year I had 2 podcasts. I had a YouTube channel that included most of the YouTube podcasts plus many cut down clips of the episode, edited all by me. I had a Fiverr account to attract copywriting leads. I had my social media, which was Instagram. I had Clubhouse. I was running on Twitter. And I was trying to run Facebook, aside from running the Facebook page for one of my podcasts too. And let me tell you, that did not get me anywhere, okay? I had to come back, draw the line, stop the podcast, stop everything, and then come back. So I'm telling you, if you have the people, time, and energy, go for multi-channel, because there's nothing better than targeting people and people seeing your message across different channels, okay? It reminds them that you're there. But if you can't, do an even better job of having a bigger presence on one channel instead of having a smaller presence across all of them, okay? I think this is it today, guys. Let me know if you like this kind of format. I know I've talked a lot about social media today, but that's just because of the most questions that I receive are around social media. I might even title this most frequently asked questions about digital marketing, social media marketing. But if you have more basic questions about the offer, about the strategy, about the way I go about creating projects or creating, business and marketing strategies and plans and all of that, then just write it out in the comments, whether you're on YouTube or if you're on Spotify or Apple Music right now. Just text me on Instagram or if you have my phone, text me and just let me know, hey, I found this useful. I really enjoyed this podcast episode. And best of all, if you found this useful, I know that there's somebody else in your friends group or in your partners group or whatever it is that is going to find the answer to these questions pretty useful. So please make sure to forward this to them as well. This is the way I get paid, you know. This is the fee that I charge. If you found something useful, please share it with your friends, your peers, and let them have some marketing help as well, okay? Let me know if this worked out for you, if you want something else, and please keep sending me your questions. You have my email, Vlad Herescu, my first and last name, @gmail.com. Email me any question at all or DM me any question at all, and I'll try to do this kind of episode more often, maybe even once a month, okay? With that being said, I hope that you are safe. I hope that whatever's going on in the world right now does not necessarily affect your well-being and your livelihood, and if it is, then my thoughts and prayers are going out to you. They don't do anything, thoughts and prayers, as opposed to what social media thinks. But genuinely sitting down and reflecting for 6 minutes on the love and, as cliche as it might sound, the unification and the uniting of people around the world and caring each other around the world and trying to spread this feeling of gratitude and love will definitely help the situation out. Because if you become more grateful for what you have, then your neighbor is going to become more grateful for what they have, and that is the only way that we can fight any sort of conflict, okay? The strategy of war is deceive, and the strategy of war is to divide and conquer. And if you realize that, then you stop fighting and you stop dividing and you stop conquering, and instead you start unifying people. You start joining efforts and helping each other out. And I think that marketing plays an important role today in doing just that. And that's why I call on everybody that I know to stop marketing anything that has separation and polarization in it, and to strive to always represent the services and people that are truly trying to help out in the world, okay? Because that's what conscious marketing is. With that being said, let me know if this kind of episodes are useful for you. If this was useful for you, share with your friends. And I'll see you in the next episode of Creative Smoothie. Thank you for joining me yet another day here. Peace.